Good day, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm starting a new project, and it is this, the Space 1999 Eagle Transporter in 1/72nd scale. So this is the 14-inch version of this kit. As those of you following my channel, I did do the 22-inch a little while ago, and I've had this as well as several other Space 1999 kits in my stash, and this is one that I wanted to get her done. I wanted to do it. I just was feeling it. I thought I had done an unboxing of this, and it seems I did not. So that's going to fall to Yinzal to look on the rest of the YinzTube, and there's plenty of other unboxings for this. The kit's really nice. You know, the box has got all the kind of cool pictures, and then the whole, just like the other one. Here we go. Like when you open it up, it's got where all your transfers and all go, and painting guides and so forth, right? So that kind of stuff. The kit is very similar to the 22-inch that I did do an unboxing for. A couple things are different. The landing gear is not spring-loaded. You can either have it, extended or compressed. I think that even says so on the box here. Somewhere, I thought I saw it. Did somewhere. Ah, yeah, there we go. There. So it even says you can do it, and it does come with a flight stand, so you can put it in flight, which is the reason for the extended gear. Anyway, I'm doing this one just sort of a basically an out of the box build. I'm not really going crazy on it. I really felt like just doing this kit up. So we'll go ahead and we'll get into the first half, which pretty much is the basic assembly of the beak, the two main corridors, and the back end of it. So I can talk about it, I can show you. So please feel free. Let's go ahead and get her started. So one thing to point out with the Eagle in the 1/72nd scale version is it's pretty much like the 22-inch or 48 scale, and that's this. Let me see if we can see them. So the nips, you're gonna have to clean off the. Here's where the sprue nibs are, right, for where they are, but you can also see barely, if I can get the right angle, that there's appreciable seam line. It's there. You can see it, and that's around all of the parts. So again, keep an eye on your parts, and like this one here, your seam line runs this way, and you just want to go ahead and for this particular one, this is the one that goes around here. It was quick and easy. It was literally just a quick run of my knife blade here. Picked up most of those, but they are there. And so I guess it's it's just a thing about space models. Seam lines are a little more of a thing. These aren't necessarily as blatant as the 22-inch, but I also haven't gotten too far in. So just calling it step 5 and 6. It's a minor thing, but it says to do 2 of these, you need to do 4 because there's 1 each on both pairs of the center passageways, I guess is what they're called, right? So on each side of these, there's 2 of those, and so you need 4. That tells you to do 2. Yeah. The doing of them, it does need cleanup around the seams, but this one's actually better than, so far has been better than the 22-inch. Other thing to note, this one is done also different from the 22 in that it has the top and bottom of these. Well, let me rephrase. This is done such that you have your top and bottom. They're already at an angle. They're built, so you don't have to worry about angling them. The other thing to note, because orientation matters, right? Because these 2 bars go in, and they go in such that the bars, or I guess the landing gear stuff has that little cutout, right? So the orientation of this is relevant. Now, I think you can see it. If I get it to focus here. One is round, one is square. And it is made the same way. A round hole and a square hole. So that will help you, that'll help make sure your orientation is correct. So just watch for that. I'm fiddling here. I haven't put these things on yet, but I think I thought about putting them on after I put, like after I put this on. So I'm also kind of the opinion, maybe what I want to do is put this on first. Oh, here we go. Put this on first. Then put those on. Then drop in those bars. Still mucking with it, but yeah. I did want to point those two out, so now I'll just keep going on.
And just to say it really wasn't that difficult. I just ended up needing to get it in place, and then I used tape to hold things in place so it can dry. Once you can do that, then you can move on to the next, which is the tail.
All right, so a little bit complicated, but not terrible. You just got to take a little bit of time and be patient. So doing these, right? It took a minute to look at how this bar here goes there. And it's that little jaunt that goes underneath that gives it away, right? So this comes up here. You have this little pin, and then the pipe goes underneath this bar over and under, right? So this pin right there was really tight, and I ended up having to give it a shot of the Tamiya extra thin just to get it to fit in. Once I did that, it went in pretty well. So and then the orientation of these guys, put that in, and I did, they can just slide they can't slide all the way in. So it's like a half moon, right there. You can kind of see that there. Mount that there, square it up with this, and that should get you what you need. The next one doing this, where you're putting that at angles, what I ended up doing was putting this in. Now, the nice thing is they have angled, you see how the pins are angled. These pins here are like half moon. So again, they only go in one way, but they're not so tight that they'll definitely be in the right orientation. So what I did do is I glued those, then arranged that so that this frame could shape it to where it is when it forms. So that took care of that. Doing these parts, that's pretty straightforward. And then the next up is going to be doing these. Now look at number 43, right? And you'll look at them. They also have half moons. And you'll see there. Once I get this to focus where I want it to, there we go. See how they're half moon there? So those are going to give you the orientation for those bars. So drop those bars in. Looks like these bars go right here. Right, so these will go with those on the inside. So that sets that like that. That'll go there, right? And that'll get what you need. So it's like put those in, then drop this bad boy on. So it looks like you're going to have, once you get these in, then your bottles, these main tank bottles, get fed through. So it's a little, I don't want to say tricky, it's just a little, be creative. You just be aware of where those, you can see how each of the where things go. So here, see that pin there is going to mate up with, so there's that hole, and that's what they're talking about there. So if you look at that, you see that one right there? This is going to sit here when it goes in, or something like that. It looks like it goes straight up and down.
So it might just be, yeah. So it looks like it's going straight up and down. Kind of curious as to how that's fitting, but yeah, so I'm guessing it'll go like that. Yeah. All right, so you see how this is drawn. All right, so this is drawn straight up and down, but in order for that to go there, it's going to go sideways. So I'm pretty sure that when I go to put this guy in here, that it's going to go sideways like that, and that's how that's going to mate up with that there. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll go to that. The other pieces I've done so far, you know, we've got these frames done. I have not put the metallized pieces in here yet, because what I want to do is go ahead, get this put together, be able to put the transfers on, then hit it with a sealant, and then I'll go ahead and do the metallized parts, because I don't want the sealant to ruin that. But overall, I also kind of want to go ahead and do the shading on these too, so we'll get that done before I do that. So, all right, and when you get to the end of it, that's what you have. These actually go in fairly well. There's a little bit of finagling once you drop this all in. Basically, you just start at one end and just work your way around as you're putting. So you put these pieces in, then when you drop this thing in, right, you just work your way around. Start at one end, work your way around, and just align up all the parts, and they just drop in. I let them set for a bit before I went and put the bottles in. Dropping in the bottles, then it was just a matter of orienting to the pipes, getting these pipes and those pipes to line up, dropping in these part 42, which is the part you drop in last. It was really easy, straightforward. Now I just got to sand up a couple of seams, fill in a couple holes, and then that's the hard part of the engine assembly, or at least the fuel assembly. So we get to step 17, essentially starting the landing gear pods. You know, it's a matter of, you know, cutting things out, and you can see, so there's orientation. All right, so if you look at the way the Eagle is done, see how the pads are, right? And it'll be like this, right? So so this mount will go here, this will go, actually, this mount will go here, this mount will go here, etc., right? So from the underside. So orientation matters, so pay attention. I do remember when I was doing the 22-inch, it was a bit of a challenge. I just started clipping or cutting these off, and there's a couple things to note. First off, see the way the sprue gates go on. So what I ended up doing is rough snipping them like this, right? So go in, rough snip them off like there, so when I could get it into my hand and snip them close, because you can see that edge there. That becomes relevant, because if you muck this up, if you dig in here, if you dig into the edge here by clipping too close, then that becomes a thing to fill, and it's annoying. But what it also leaves you with is there's this nub that you then have to clean off. But I found that it's a lot easier to go ahead and clean that off there. And normally it doesn't take me quite so much effort to clean that off, but because I'm working with the video, there we go. Once you clip that off, or once you snip it off, you got to go back, clean it up with a whatever tool, but be careful not to dig down too much, because if you do, you dig into the angle that then becomes, visible when you think. So that was just a thing to call out. Again, seam line. I will say that unlike the 22-inch, this one doesn't have anywhere near as bad a seam line, at least on my kit. So moving on. And again, orientation. So part 25, that goes on one way. It's pretty straightforward. When you go over here, 24, that's going to go on that one again, only one way. Part 30, which is this little nubby guy here, right? That'll go on this. So this is part 28. You can see the surface detail there and the surface detail there. Orientation for that is this. Now, you'll note, see that piece, that design right there, that design right there. That's my orientation for that piece there. We also have, and I haven't cleaned them up yet, but we have 27, and again, you can see the piece, and then 26, which has that. So they're showing you your orientation. That is relevant because it's, well, I guess they can go on different ways. So it's relevant in that if the detail on the finished product is important to you and it will drive you crazy if you got it wrong, then orientation matters. When it comes to actually putting the thing together, these nubs aren't different sizes, so they're not going to prevent you from putting the whole thing together, but you will have the detail in places that you didn't expect to have it, so it won't look the same, right, if that matters. So, and again, you've got the parts you've got to clean up. These here, right, you've got, see how they're right there on that edge. You need to be careful to clean those up. So I'll go do that. Just figured I'd go ahead and call it. Now, again, it's all of these things have specific orientation. So as you go through them, do that. And this one here, I'm going to actually mark. This is 17, right? So this will be step 17. 1. So that way, when I'm done, I know which one's which. Okay. Oh. The RCTs. Yeah, I'm drilling those out. Or at least I'm going to do a little bit of drilling them out. I've got my drill bit here. I'm going to go ahead and mark them, get a hole started in there, probably clean that out just a little bit more so that they actually look like RCTs and not nubs of plastic. And there, we're going to go ahead and call this one done at this point. The next video will probably be the finishing bits of it, and then the painting, weathering, and so forth. Anybody has any suggestions, hints, queries, whatever, please feel free, put them down below. I'll always respond. The only thing I ask, please try to keep them respectful. That's all I ask about. But until then, I hope this was at least useful and entertaining, and until next time, happy modeling.